and hello. So, my name is Sarah, and I'm going to give you some book recommendations for if you're in a reading slump and you want to get out of it. So, reading slumps are not fun, not at all. I don't like them. Like when I'm in one, I currently am kind of in one because I read 21 books in February and I haven't finished a single book in March, and it's 7th of March. Normally, I would have already read 4 books. So that's not fun. But I'm trying to get out of it, so I thought I would help you to get out of one too if you need it. So I'm gonna give you some book recommendations for if you're in a reading slump, if you want out of it, and you want some fast-paced reads. These books aren't gonna be short, aren't gonna be short stories, novellas, novels. Well, some of them are novels, but probably some of them. But they will be fast-paced. I personally do not read a lot of short books. My average page length, the average page counts, how do you say that? The average pages that I read for a book are like 380 pages. I do not know how to say it. But 380 pages is what I normally read, like the average what I read in the book. So these aren't going to be short. These are just going to be fast-paced, and I really hope you get something out of it. I hope I can help you with this. Let's stop rambling now and get on with the books. Also, these aren't like unpopular books. These are just books that I enjoyed, I feel like are fast-paced, and I just picked them up to recommend them to you. But it will not be a surprise if you've heard of them before, because most of them are pretty popular, especially if you're on Book Talk and BookTube. First book, so that is The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. This was like a hype, I think, like on Book Talk for a while. Like a lot of people talked about it, and I picked it up too. Like it was one of those Book Talk books. That not one of the standard Book Talk books, because it didn't get talked about like 8 Hours of Us got talked about, or Good Ghost Guys Murder got talked about, or Shatter Me. But this one was one of those Book Talk books that did get talked about. But that's not the point. This is about Alessandra, and Alessandra is going to seduce the king, marry him, and kill him, and and take his kingdom for herself, because she's bored. That's basically it. She's bored of being the second choice. Because she's always been the second choice, the second daughter. The younger sister, the younger daughter. So she's tired of it. So she decides to finally take matters into her own hands. And take a kingdom for herself by seducing the king, marrying him, and killing him. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? So this is very fast-paced. It's my favorite book of all time, actually. I read it 8 times. I do not know if that says anything, but I feel like it does say something. It is 320 pages. So this is one of those books that is on the shorter side for me, personally. Like, this is one of those books that is on the shorter side for me, because long books are books of 500 pages for me, and short books are books that have 320 pages, or 330 pages. So this is and it's very fast-paced. Like, the time that I read this, it flew by. And I really enjoyed my time reading this, like all 8 times. Alright, I already said something about the series, and I'm gonna talk to you about it more now. So, this is the standard, like, Book Talk, BookTube, standard talked about series. So it's a Good Ghost Guys Murder series. And this one is actually very thin. It's Killjoy. It's by Holly Jackson, by the way. This one is very short. And it's a novella, a prequel novella. So you can read it before these books come along. And I would recommend to read these books first, because that makes the experience a little bit more special, in my opinion, but you won't be confused if you read this first. So, Killjoy is about a murder mystery party. It's 130 pages. About a murder mystery party. They're trying to find a killer in the murder mystery party of it's a 1920s themed murder mystery party. But Pip, main character in the whole series, finds herself so drawn into the make-believe world of intrigue, that she realized how much she loves it. And that is where it all begins, I think. So, Good Girl Scout's Murder, Good Girl Blah Blah Blah, and As Good as Dead. So, this one is the thinnest of them all, even though it's more than 400 pages. But these are so fast-paced. Like, it doesn't even bother you that it's 400 pages. Like, time flies by. So, I'm going to tell you about the plot of this one, because that is basically the main thing. So, 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell has been killed, and the murderer has been found, which was her boyfriend, Sal Singh. Everyone in town knows he did it, the police knows he did it, literally everyone knows he did it. But, Pip isn't sure that he's actually the murderer. Like, some things smell fishy, she thinks. So for a school project, she opens the case again and tries to figure out who the real murderer could be, or if the real murderer has already been caught. But if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth? Some things happen in this book, and wow, it was so intriguing, so interesting. It's truly an amazing book. I did give it 4 stars, not because it was bad, but because these are better. So this book, Good Girl Bad Blood, follows another mystery with the same characters as A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but it follows another mystery. I did like the mystery in this one better, but I did like the writing and the intriguing things in this one better. And the articles were very interesting. And this one was the best one in my opinion. Like, it was very good. It was perfect. It was everything I thought it would be, everything I wanted it to be. So yeah, that was this series. I talked a long time about that series, but I'm very, very passionate about the series. So, 5 Survive. Also by Holly Jackson. This is the newest release of Holly Jackson's newest release. So this is this is like the perfect example of a fast-paced read, because it is set in the time span of 8 hours. So how can it actually be slow-paced if it's set in the time span of 8 hours? I would seriously consider picking this up if I were you, because this is the fastest-paced book I think I have ever read. It's about 6 friends. They go on a vacation. Their RV shuts down, like their tires are broken. The tires broke, and they are stuck at a remote location. And what happens then? They figure out that there's a sniper following them, looking for something in that RV. But what is the sniper looking for? It all sounds very interesting, and out of the 6 ones, only 5 survive. I expected it to come a little sooner for it to become a murder mystery, but it doesn't become a murder mystery. We get all these intriguing things. We get all these little hints. All these things start to happen when you're like, oh, this is the one who's gonna die. Oh wait, no, this is the one who's gonna die. My first intuition was right. I'm not sure if you read this book, if yours was right, but my first intuition was right. But I quickly forgot about it because I was like, wait, no, you're gonna die. It was a mystery to me too. It's a thriller, but it was a mystery finding out who is the one who's gonna die. It was just very interesting. Shut me. Also talks about this. Like, this is the standard book talk book that is talked about a lot. And I wanted to talk about it too because it is very good. So the thing about this, I think the reason why it's so fast-paced is because of the writing style. Because the writing style is so interesting. It's so different than what I usually read and what everyone usually reads, I think. I have never found a writing style that intrigued me more than this writing style did. Because it's out of the point of view of a girl who is in an asylum. And she thinks she's going crazy and stuff. And that's not wrong thinking because she's in a fucking asylum. She has done something bad, not on purpose. And that is the reason why she's in that asylum. And she has been there for a few days. It actually says on the first page. The first line is, I've been locked up for 264 days. So she has been locked up in an asylum for 264 days. And it's a dystopian, so it's set in the future. And it's just very intriguing. And this is also a series. I read all of the books, including all the novellas. And highly recommend it. Also tap the shit out of this. Like, wow. Right, so. Slump, Colleen Hoover. This is, I do not have a reason why I picked this one in particular. Like, I would recommend all Colleen Hoover books if you want to read fast-paced books. They do deal with some heavier subjects, including this one. This is one of the less heavier ones. Maybe I picked it up because of that. In my opinion, it was less heavy. Like, it was not a subject that I could relate to, that I felt really affected me when reading it, because it's not something that I have had to deal with in real life. But I still cried. Yeah, I did. So this is her debut, actually. And Colleen Hoover has written a lot of books. I have read 14 of her books now. And I would recommend all of them, except Regretting You. Yeah, yeah. So, it's about Lakin and Will. And Will and Lakin have a romance, but something happens and that stops their romance. So now they have to figure out how to overcome these obstacles. And it's all sounds very intriguing. It is very intriguing. And it's mostly focused on the romance part, and that is what I like about these books, because romance is one of my favorite genres, and not all of Colleen Hoover books are focused on romance, and these ones are, but there's also mixed a little bit of other things into it, and that is what I like. Also, this may look thick, but this part, like this, is extra chapters of the next book, Point of Retreat. So it's only 317 pages, 17 pages, and the font is ginormous. Look at that. The font is really ginormous. So it's very easy to get through, and I read it in one day. These are thrillers, and I feel like thrillers are very easy to get through. They're very intriguing. Like, if you have a good thriller, it's very difficult to take your eyes off the book, if you know what I mean. Like, take your attention away from the book. So it's Eeny Meeny and Pop Goes the Weasel by M.J. Arledge. These follow separate stories in the same series, so you could read them as standalones. Will spoil you for the rest of the book, so I would recommend to read all of them in order, such as I did. First book, second book. I only read 2 of them, but I'm already in love. And this book got a little repetitive, but it's very fast-paced. So it's about like a Saw or criminal or an episode of Criminal Minds. That is what it's like compared to. So it's about a girl. She has emerged from the woods, barely alive, and days later, another person is found, and a pattern is emerging. So basically what happens is 2 people are locked in a room. These 2 people have to kill each other, and the one who kills the other first gets out. But if you don't kill, you're both gonna die. So, sounds very interesting, right? But it got kind of repetitive because the same pattern happened the whole entire time. And I understand that it happened, but it got repetitive. And Pop Goes the Weasel is like Jack the Ripper in reverse. Instead of the prostitutes getting killed, it's the man hiring the prostitutes getting killed. I'm not even sure if I added this book to like, I know, but it's not something that I would normally recommend. A Rune of Roses by K.F. Breen. Yeah, so this is pure smut, and that is always fast-paced. Like, I think there wasn't a chapter where someone wasn't horny. Maybe like 2 chapters in total. But that was it. It's like a Beauty and the Beast. Was it a Beauty and the Beast retelling? I thought it was. I thought it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It sounded very intriguing, and I knew what I was getting into reading it, and I read it in one day because I was so intrigued. Yeah, there's smut everywhere. Like the moment that you do this, you flip a page. Yeah, smut. It's that simple. I do not know how to feel about the love interest. Did not really like him, but there wasn't any depth into this book either. So I can't really complain. And now the last book that I want to recommend is Heartstopper by Alice Ousman. Sorry for the mispronunciation if I mispronounced it. This is a graphic novel, and I feel like if you're in a reading slump, graphic novels will do good because these are a fast read because they have pictures in them, obviously, or drawings or illustrations, whatever. And it's very easy to get through. So this one in particular is a romance between two boys, and it's like a self-discovery kind of book too. And there was a lot of depth, in my opinion. It was young adult. There was a lot of that, and I did not expect to like it as much as I did. 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Like, I would recommend this one to anyone wanting to get out of reading slump. Well. That was the video. I talked a lot, and my stomach hurts now. Like, I don't know why, but my stomach hurts now. I'm sick, by the way. Like, I've been at home for days. Like, I haven't seen the outside world in days. I haven't had a breath of fresh air for days. Okay, no, I'm just being dramatic. I've had a breath of fresh air 2 days ago, but that was because I had to get in the car. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're gonna watch more of me. I hope you got something out of this. Hope you got some recommendations out of this. Hope you're gonna read some of this. Hope you're gonna get out of that reading slump because it's annoying. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So for now, I'll say goodbye and see you next time. So bye-bye.